Two guys, one sofa.
Hello and welcome to Two Guys, One Sofa, Cynics Die in Hot Cars. Once again, I am Pete. I am joined by Graeme as always. We've just been to see The Incredibles 2, as exclusively revealed by Graeme on the Facebook page, if you follow that. If you don't, surprise!
All two of you.
All two of you. Thanks, Mom. But before we get into the film, we don't generally like to do this, but we're going to start on a little bit of a tangent. Oh, yeah. It's the elephant in the room, and
here we go.
I don't think we can avoid it.
You've been building up to this, haven't you?
It's exciting. Football, Graeme, is coming home.
It is.
It's coming home. It's all anyone can talk about, and the reason for that, ladies and gentlemen, is because, you know, a nation has been brought together. A nation has been brought together. We live in politically divisive times. The left and the right have never been further apart. We live in a nation where politics is in turmoil. Our internal government is in crisis. Our relationships with other countries are at an all-time low.
Trump's in town.
I know, this is a nation that has suffered the lingering threat of terror. You know, it's on the soil, and the lingering threat of terror to come. But we were the nation was united by football coming together. It brought the people together, and finally, after years of hurt, after coming so close on home soil at the Euros to breaking all of those years of hurt, all of these talented players that have come so close, but yet so far, France have made the World Cup final.
Yeah!
Vive la France!
Vive allez la bleu!
And you know what, Graeme, I know you're slightly detached from international football. Wales didn't qualify, so I don't have that emotional attachment this time, but I think it's just nice. It's just nice when a nation feels that ownership of something, and perhaps that sense of entitlement, you know. And they wait so long, and they fight for it, and they finally get the chance to bring it back. I remember Jules Rimet, you know, back in the 1920s, late 1920s, he came up with the idea for the World Cup.
So it
was his trophy that was lifted by such nations as Uruguay, Brazil, West Germany, Italy, maybe someone else, I can't remember. And finally, after all these years of hurt, France have a chance to bring it home. So, on behalf of me, Graeme, and all of the nations on the world, all of them, Vive la France. I'm not sure who they're playing in the final. I didn't watch it. So,
you've waited so long to get any kind of platform, and if only 5 people listen to this, you're happy now.
Worth it.
I'm just happy that it made a lot of chavs sad.
Yeah,
that's where my
mostly Dele Alli.
yeah. Well, so there it is. World Cup. It's already insufferably hot in this car. That's the whole point. Cynic Stein Hot Cars is now the little sub-show, should we say? A little colon subheading. Yeah. A tagline to our Two Guys, One Sofa main
as we have abandoned
brand.
The sofa.
We've abandoned the sofa, and we are now in the heat. The peak of this heat wave, more should I say. We are in this hot car, and Pete has given up 3.5 minutes of this insufferable heat.
Yes.
To stick it to you, England.
Wilting like England in the second half of the World Cup
I'm
final.
So hot. So yes, there it is. The World Cup is no more for the English dream. Trump is in town. Yeah. Brexit is a shit show. What more do you want? Superheroes. Oh, we'll get to there, because let's always know it's a brand new release. This is going to be out days. We are on this. This is release day, no less.
Oh yeah, it only just came out today, did it?
I think it did.
Okay.
I think it did anyway.
I mean, if not, certainly only this week.
Exactly. So this is new. So because obviously people don't want spoilers, the first half of this episode is going to be solely on just our usual what have we seen, what do we think, catch up, and then we'll try and keep away from spoilers for as long as possible, but be warned when it gets to the second half and the Incredibles 2 portion, if you want to obviously see it for yourself, and I don't blame you, leave us and then come back.
And then come back once you've seen it and share your thoughts.
Indeed. We look forward to other people's opinions, especially of a podcast that I then get into an argument with over the internet.
Yeah, elaborate on this.
So, this was in response to Jurassic World, that we, if those who have heard it. No, we were not its biggest fans.
It's fair to say it divided opinion.
And just it seems to have gone over very, very well with a lot of people. Especially in the other podcasting world. Occasionally I'll stumble upon a YouTube video of another, couple of people doing the same shit we're doing. But they're not as smart as us, Peter. And it's not that I'm not saying that I'm a better class of human, or you are, because that goes without saying.
I am.
That goes without saying. We are smarter. We found Jurassic World for the shit show that it is.
Yeah. They let the dinosaurs into the world, for fuck's sake, Graham.
Like it was nothing!
It's a fucking Velociraptor!
Oh, it's a fucking Raptor Prime! I still can't remember what that fucking raptor is. You said it today at some point. What was it called? Neoraptor. No, that was the joke we made.
It was... No, I'm Dominus Rex.
That was the one from the first one. What was this new one?
The
raptor thing, or something
Endoraptor.
Endoraptor. Or in the Incredibles turn, it's the Ednoraptor.
The Ednoraptor.
But yes, so catch up. What have you seen recently, Pete? Get it off your chest.
I did go and see, I was a bit torn on whether to bother or not. I did go and see Ocean's 8, which is sort of I'm sure you've all seen the Ocean's films already. George Clooney, Brad Pitt, Al. And this was okay.
Bernie Mac, man.
Yeah, Bernie Mac, the late Bernie Mac. Don Cheadle. Who somehow looked older then than he does now.
What do you mean, Bernie Mac, the old Don Cheadle? Don Cheadle's his own person.
No, I mean, and Don Cheadle, I said.
And
Don Cheadle.
Was Don Cheadle in it?
Do you not remember Don Cheadle in the Ocean's films? They've only gone and nosed it right up.
Oh, fuck, that's why I don't fucking remember him.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, well, I mean, in my defence, I've seen those movies once, each one through, and they were at least 15 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, Ocean's 11 I thought was good. Ocean's 12 was okay, apart from that meta moment near the end with Julia Roberts pretending to be Julia Roberts.
That got fucked up.
Yeah.
And then Bruce Willis appeared.
Yeah, and then Ocean's 13 was shit.
That's what I remember from it, yeah.
And this, I'm just going to get into spoilers. I think it's at the end of its cinema run now, if it's not already left the cinemas. It's been out for a while, so if you want to see it, you'll have done so by now. The basic premise is Sandra Bullock plays...
sister?
Yeah, the sister of George Clooney's character, Danny Ocean. I can't think what her actual name is.
It's not a reboot!
No, but it's strange because they went very early with it. Turns out it's the late Danny Ocean. He dead.
They killed George Clooney off screen.
Yeah, and it's not so much that I hate that they did it. I was very surprised that they revealed it so early.
Yeah, that should have been a twist somewhere.
I thought they were going to be teasing throughout the film,
Second act, third act.
Yeah,
kind of.
And then maybe at the end,
Crux.
You realise, there's his grave or whatever.
Yeah.
But I suppose maybe the argument they would have had, well, if they don't do that, then you're just going to be waiting the whole time for him to appear, and it's going to be a disappointment when he doesn't. And I mean, this being the Ocean's world, they make references to it. One of the other characters says to her, "Is he really dead?" This is the Ocean's world.
They leave it ambiguous.
I would not be shocked if they get a sequel.
See, that's what I was thinking when you said he's dead. The first thing I thought was is he?
Yeah, because I mean, I expected him to appear, just as they're succeeding with the heist at the end as a security guard with the arm on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Where are you going? Turns around. Oh, look who it is. Or Brad Pitt or whatever.
Yeah.
I think Matt Damon was meant to be in it.
Were there any cameos in this?
There are a couple of cameos in it. There's the guy who plays Ross and Monica's dad in Friends, whose name I can never remember.
Yeah.
He pops up, and the Chinese acrobat.
That's right.
They're the only two. Don't get any of the big hitters.
Career,
I think Matt Damon, recorded scenes, but was then cut after he caused a bit of a stir with the older Me Too movement and some of his controversial comments.
Just imagine cutting Matt Damon. Charming Matt Damon. He was the Martian, man.
Yeah.
He's box office. That's ballsy. What did he do on the movie? I don't want to know.
I think he made some sort of comments almost excusing Harvey Weinstein and his behaviour. Mistake. Think about what you're saying, Matt Damon.
You may be charming, but you're fucking an idiot, Matt Damon.
You're a dumb man. So essentially the premise of this is Sandra Bullock's character's been in jail for, I think, 8 years. She was sort of set up by an ex-boyfriend. They were in the con game together.
Okay.
He realised they were going to be caught, threw her under the bus. She gets sets out, assembles a little team of criminals.
To get revenge.
There's I can't remember. There's Sarah Paulson. There's Rihanna. There's Helena Bonham Carter. And not good Helena Bonham Carter, because she's a good actress when used right. But this was Tim Burton Helena Bonham Carter. And essentially they try to steal this valuable necklace. It's going to be used at a big gala ball by Anne Hathaway's character. She's some sort of ditzy A-list celebrity. And she's going to be presenting at this big gala. They're putting this heist in place where she's going to be wearing this necklace, and they're going to steal it during the course of the thing. Anne Hathaway's very good. She is the standout. She is the best character in it. Again, another good actress, Anne Hathaway. She's a good actress, and she is the star of the show. And what this film lacks, what I liked about the first Ocean's film, is you just sort of see the heist play out. They tell you what they're going to do, and it happens. There's never really any lingering sense of, it's going to go wrong, how are they going to overcome this? Like, there's a brief moment where they're sort of trying the necklace on, and one of the security guards reveals, you can only take it off with a magnet, and that should throw a spanner in the works. It's like, how are they going to get around this? Right. But then literally a moment later, Rihanna thinks, rings up her sister, who it just happens to be some genius sort of con artist herself, and she says, I can do that. Convenience. And that's solved within 2 minutes. Right. So there's no tension, there's no lingering sense. It just sort of bumbles along, and then even Perisic. Wait, what? That was really weird. I felt really in control of that sentence.
Literally, you've lasted 10 minutes. Yeah, I thought it was done.
I was in cruise control. I just needed to see the sentence out to the end. I knew where I was going with it. I knew what I needed to do, and then that happened. That was really, really weird. Part of me hopes that you just watched this Ocean's film to know the plot, just to bring it to this forum and this table, just to drop that. Just for that joke. Which now people are going, what did he say? What did I miss? Because you said it that quickly. Yeah, that was really weird. I mean, I was so in control. I felt confident. I felt people were behind me. I felt there was a real wave of enthusiasm and support. And people really believed I was going to make it through to the end of the sentence. It wasn't a difficult sentence. Maybe I over-elaborated a bit. And Mario Mandzukic. Fuck! Jesus, it's getting worse. I don't even care about the Ocean's film anymore. I actually want to live in a world where all of this was some elaborate plot on your part. Even if you didn't actually go watch the movie, you read the Wikipedia synopsis. To see it out. I mean, it was a simple sentence. I just needed to get through to it, and I was nearly there. It was a simple point, and I just tried to over-elaborate. And I just didn't quite get there. Roy Keane is banging on the bonnet of the door, shouting, "You didn't fucking get there, you bottle it. You'll never get the chance for a generation, son."
Why is Roy Keane Scottish?
I don't even know you like the Ocean's films. I'm so sorry, everyone. I know you all believed in me, but I will learn from this. I will become stronger now. I'll be a better player come the next podcast. I mean, podcaster. I'll be a better podcaster come the next experience. I'll grow from this.
Go home, Pete.
I'll bring it home. I'll bring it home. Just for you, listeners.
Take it home.
Bring it home.
Bring it home. Bring it home. I want the end of the review. Bring it home.
It was alright, 5 out of 10.
Alright.
Moving on.
Anything else on your part?
I don't think I've seen anything else since the last podcast, no.
I say the World Cup kind of eats into these things.
Yeah.
I watched an old film. This is where I come into my own, because you now work across from the cinema. You have this nice ease into it kind of thing. You can just say, I can do it tonight.
I can pop after work,
me living in the arse end of nowhere, I rely a lot on the old Netflix and Sky Movies. So a lot of the things that I'm watching at the moment are things that people have seen, if not a couple of months ago, a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So I know you elaborated on it.
You're living in the past. I am a certain fan base.
Exactly. Almost like I like how this is. I like how everything's football related. Can we see how far this goes? Yeah. All right. World Cup special, everyone. What did I see? Well, you watched them a couple of months ago when they were at the cinema, and that was I, Tonya and Three Billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri.
Three Billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri.
And I, Tonya. You didn't go into spoilers because I had not seen them and I wanted to.
Not really.
But you were high of praise.
Oh yeah, they are my two leading contenders for the old Film of the Year awards as it stand.
They are also mine.
Oh wow. Okay, you surprised me.
I, Tonya, I watched with Amy and even Trevor,
really?
The old man. We all enjoyed it.
Wow.
like you say, it was just fun. It was a romp, as they say.
A romp, yeah.
It was just something that, if you invested in it, it paid off even more.
Yes.
But even if you didn't, you still got laughs. You still got a basic story.
Yeah, you got laughs, but it was also had a bit of an emotional punch to it as well.
It did. It was great. I really enjoyed it. And then the night after, we watched Three Billboards.
Yeah. Very different kind of film.
Utterly brilliant.
Yeah.
Utterly brilliant. I cannot. It's got everything. I know it's pitched as a dark comedy.
Yes.
But I generally cannot put this film in a category. It is just a movie. It is just brilliant.
It's a comedy. It's a tragedy.
Everything it tries to do, it hits out the park.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 across the board, from the acting, the plot. Like you say, if it tries to be funny, it's really funny.
Yes.
When it tries to be somber, it's really somber. When it tries to be thought-provoking, it's really thought-provoking. There is nothing this film did poorly.
Yeah, and you can see why it won all of the acting awards, because
God,
Rockwell,
Sam
McCormick,
Rockwell is a genius.
Harrelson.
I mean, and that's what I liked about it. I mean, because now we can talk spoilers, because obviously now just... You need to see this film. So, actually, do I want to spoil it? I don't think I do.
I don't think we need to. It's not that kind of film.
No, like I say, I just think when you think it's going somewhere, especially at the end,
Yes.
it doesn't do that.
Yeah, it throws you for another loop, another
And
emotional
I
gut
love
punch.
that, because as much as I would have liked that ending that you thought it was going to be, I think if you would look back on it, you would have thought it was a bit corny.
Yeah, it just constantly what's the word I'm looking for? Something your expectations.
I'm not going to say anything just in case it's another football-related joke. Or is it just Pete being dumb?
I think it is me being dumb.
Oh my lord,
It's
subverting.
Subverting.
It's the word you're looking for. I was thinking, how can this tie into a football jibe? It subverted the expectations like Croatia's first half performance.
Yeah, it lures you into a false sense of
security, and then have it.
And then it hits you
Twice.
And
also the post.
Once an extra time. Just when you think
viewership
you're getting
is
penalties.
dwindling. Yeah. It's dwindling by every episode. But yeah, no, absolutely fantastic. Cannot recommend it enough. Please go and see it. Buy it on DVD. Buy it on Sky Movies. I don't care. For Christ's sake, make this film as big as it should be.
Yeah. We've changed, man. We used to hate this kind of thing once upon a time.
Well, it's. I don't think we've changed. I just think the bar's been lowered that much that.
Yeah, maybe.
I think I would have enjoyed this several years ago, because, like you say, it does everything well.
But maybe we wouldn't have gone to watch it, or we wouldn't have watched it.
I think that would have been. I think like you say, I watched it on Sky, but I paid for it.
Yeah.
I think it would have been free before I went to delve into this.
Yeah, it would have been a background film.
Exactly. It's not something I would have deliberately sat down and made Amy watch.
No.
Or Trevor watch. Again, Trevor, like, across the board. I
mean, that blows my mind that Trevor liked it.
Trevor understood it is mind-blowing in itself. But no, fantastic. And then last night, to counteract the positive vibes,
I'm looking forward to this.
I don't know how long it's been out. I think it was last year.
Yeah, I remember trailers for this. I remember seeing trailers.
This was
maybe the start of the year.
Yeah, this was when you saw it, the trailer, and I remember watching the trailer, so it must have been something that we went to see, or...
I think the trailer was on sort of around Star Wars time.
It could have been.
Which suggests it was maybe one of those January throwaway shitty films.
And even at the trailer, you just cringed.
Yeah.
I sulked in my seat and questioned humanity. And of course, if you haven't guessed already, we're talking about Geostorm. It's so bad, it's good.
Oh, really? One of those? It's full circle.
I mean, the thing is, if you watch it for what it is, it's just shit.
Yeah.
But if you deliberately went in knowing this is going to be something you hate, I enjoyed pulling it apart, left, right, and centre, and it's everywhere. There's every scene. There's something that just my eyes. I'm surprised I watched probably about half the film, because most of the time my eyes were in the back of my head.
Oh, no.
They rolled that much.
I mean, when I saw the trailer, I was thinking 2012. That's what came to mind. It is
2012 meets an Independence Day sequel, so not the best Independence Day. Resurgence, mixed with I'm trying to think, like fucking Sharknado or something along those lines. I've not seen them, but I assume this is up there with them. Gerard Butler plays a scientist who creates something that controls the weather, like a big space satellite that controls the weather because they put a giant grid around the Earth because flooding and shit.
It already sounds like some bullshit.
Oh, you have no idea. The American government is handing it off to the UN or all the other nations, kind of thing, despite all the other nations building it, which is a crux in itself, because why would the US have it? But I guess NASA, maybe. I don't know. Cape Canaveral, this is how bullshit this film is, right?
Oh no.
I don't need to say it's shit anyway. I'm just going to leave it at this. It's watch it just... I would watch it while drunk, stoned, or just high. Like, I mean, really fucking high. Like LSD levels of high. Okay. If you are a Class A substance user, watch this film, and I would imagine it would be fucking amazing. But this sums it up. Cape Canaveral, because obviously there's a lot of space traffic nowadays because there's a giant fucking space station that controls the weather, which of course has gravity, as they all do. In these films, the Cape Canaveral has been given an upgrade. Instead of one launch pad, there's a row of 20 either side of a road, all next to each other, so they're not even spaced out. And then you're thinking, oh, and there's a road and there's traffic going by as rockets are launching up into space. So you're thinking, oh, we're living in the near future where they've managed to, I don't know, sort out space travel, so fuel is not expended in fire to the nearby area, which is why, if you know, in Cape Canaveral, why all these platforms are so isolated.
They're so far away.
Not even next to each other, like this thing, like a row. It's like skyscrapers.
Yeah, we're talking miles away.
We're talking Fifth Avenue, one after the other, all in a pretty row. All these cars going by as this rocket launches off, and you're thinking, they're new space shuttles. They're very much like the Armageddon space shuttle in their appearance.
Like a Harrier jump jet, just straight up into the air.
Or there's some sort of fusion power kind of fucking blue lights, and it takes off. And it's just, they still use the same footage of these things. Fire, hellfire, brimstone coming down. Every launch, many people killed, even in this universe. It makes no sense. It's so fucking bad. Go watch it. Please go watch it, so you know. Off the back of this, I'm now confident enough to watch Pixels in the coming week and bring that to the table next time.
Yeah, we need to do that.
I'm a glutton, a sucker for punishment, should I say?
Yeah, at some point we're doing the Paul Blart Mall Cop doubleheader.
Oh, yes, a marathon. Paul Blart.
Paul Blart Day.
Yeah. It should have been today. It's Friday the 13th. This would have been the perfect opportunity to do it. But yes, so there's what I've watched recently. 23 minutes in, this car is getting exceptionally
very hot.
It's uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable to begin with, but now physical sweat is manifesting.
I'm struggling now.
Yeah, I've got a haircut after this. I'm just going to go to this place reeking. Apologies to hairdresser Laura for that one. Let's move on then. Today's
film,
the main feature, Incredibles 2. Bit of backstory, just quickly. I've seen Incredibles 1, enjoyed it, think it's one of the best Pixar films that there is. Peter's not.
I've not seen it. I've never seen the first Incredibles film.
So...
there's no reason why. It's not because I don't think it's a good film. I've no reason to think
it took you ages to get around to Finding Nemo, if I recall.
Yeah, and I only saw that because I think Avril had it on DVD, so it's convenient. Whereas I don't have that option with The Incredibles.
Oh, there you go. So, two different mindsets.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I'm looking forward to hear what you think of it as a first-timer. Let us start there. As a going in cold to a sequel, which is never normally the best option, let's be honest about it.
Yeah,
but the best movies stand on their own normally. They do. I think I gave you one bit of exposition at the very start, because the film picks off directly in the same scene
of the previous film, so that was a bit of a mindfuck.
Yeah, it's from the perspective of another character in the film.
Yeah, this is some Batman Superman shit going on.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah,
I wonder if it's like a subtle nod to this is how you do it,
but not terrible.
Yeah. So Pete has not seen it. Again, we'll try our best to stay away from spoilers, spoilers, but I would suggest turning off now because I can give it probably 2 minutes before somebody does something.
Yeah,
so come back.
One of us is going to balls it up at some point.
So here we go, Pete. Go on. What did you think?
I mean, I really, really enjoyed it. It did start quite slow for me, as you say. It kicked off with stuff that probably did require you to understand a little bit about what had gone on before. There's no sort of character introduction or reintroduction. It is straight in, and you see this action scene going on from the previous film, and then you see some of the ramifications from it, and I found it a little bit slow at the start. I was kind of waiting for it to kick into gear, but when it did kick into gear, which was probably when the characters were separated, without getting into anything too specific, when they branched apart a little bit, it was really fucking good. It was very funny. The characters were all very likeable in their own different way. They're very distinct, and I laughed a lot throughout this film. The comedy there was some good base level comedy, as you'd expect from the Pixar film. There's always the obvious stuff. There's the more subtle stuff that people like us would understand, and might be a little bit more weighted on the kids. But there was something for everyone, and it was quite a big audience in there today, I think it's fair to say, of mixed ages.
Lots of kids.
Yeah, there were lots of kids, but there were people our age as well, or a little bit younger, the sort of the older teens as well.
The thing is, just before we go any further, would you say this is a kids film? Because the director has publicly come out and said just because it's animated doesn't make it a kids film. And there were a lot of kids in there.
I think you can apply that argument to most of the Pixar films, though, to be fair. And
agreed.
I would say this... I didn't feel like it'd be unsuitable for kids, is what I would say.
Yeah, it's got enough to keep them
I think the
happy.
Strongest language was there was a couple of craps in there.
Yeah, I noticed.
There was a couple of craps, and much like in the England game the other day. You hear me, Raheem?
Score 1.
Yeah. What was I talking
You've
about?
lost your trail of thought now. This is the problem with the Welshness.
Incredibles 2, England 1. What? But yeah, anyway, yeah.
You deserve this.
Oh, this is great.
Touché, sir.
Building up all week. But yeah.
Once it got going.
But yeah, I mean, it wasn't overly violent. The action scenes were generally quite comedic in nature. It was fast-paced enough, I think, so as not to lose a kid's attention. I didn't think there was a scene where a kid would be thinking, what's going on here? I'm bored. It was well-paced.
Yeah.
It didn't drag at any point. I mean, it was about 2 hours, which is quite long for a kids' film.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel it dragged at any point. I thought the pacing was right, the tone was right, and I really, really liked it. I thought it was really, really good.
That's good. I also really, really, really enjoyed it. But I would say it is not suitable for, I would say, the younger spectrum of the kids. Yeah. Like, if you're over 10, 11, like... Yes,
the toy playing age.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you would get this because there's a lot of talking. I'm trying to simplify it in a way. Like, there's a lot. Again, it's exposition, but it's meaningful. It's not like, a kid would get this because it's a film that doesn't talk down to its audience. It makes no apologies for it. It's like, this is the movie we're making. If you understand it, if you're a kid, here's some bright costumes. Whatever, you'll be happy with the set pieces. Yeah, I think you get more of a payoff if you are over the age of 13 and understand a lot of the language that they're using as well. There was talk of
probably a fair point. Yeah.
There was talk of I'm trying to think perception. They were all about the meaning of perception,
your public perception,
and like a fucking 7-year-old wouldn't get this. I thought, and
in the sort of conflict between. The inventing of an idea and the creation of an idea and marketing the idea. Yeah. Which is, I think that's probably a fair point. It kind of had that, not that I'm comparing it in a, to this film in terms of its quality, but it kind of had that Phantom Menace thing where it's meant to be a film aimed at kids. Yeah. But how interested are kids in political red tape?
Exactly. But unlike the Phantom Menace, this knocked it out the park. Yeah. Because, again, it was unapologetic in its stance of, we're animated, but let's be honest about it, the core audience here are the ones that grew up with this film, what is it, 10, 12 years ago?
I can't even remember, because if you think,
this has been in the pipeline a long time.
Yeah, because 2008 takes us back to what, sort of Toy Story 3 almost kind of time, so I'd say probably going back even further than that.
It could be 15 odd years, probably.
I think this is probably the longest we've had to wait for a Pixar sequel.
Yeah,
I think.
And this was the one that generally people wanted.
I'll see if I can find out while we talk.
No, I say Toy Story. They wanted. Obviously, people were popular,
of course,
but nobody wanted a Finding fucking Dory. No, there was no push for that. There was no push for Cars 2. The one that left off because the scene ended with them suiting up as superheroes, and it kind of almost branched out into this whole new world of, look, there is villains in this, and it's a wider world than what that first movie was.
Yeah,
it was hinted at. It played a big part in it, but it was never set in that larger crux. And this was the one that everybody wanted. It was like, well, now that you've established this with the first one, I want more.
Yeah.
And it's taken them so fucking long to give it to us.
14 years. Yeah.
14 years.
Yeah.
So I went into it loving the first one, and obviously with every sequel to a film that you love, you have your reservations. Especially because I think with Pixar recently, I wouldn't say they've been.
We've talked about them before on the podcast, haven't we?
I just think they're slipping a little bit, or there's a bit of fatigue in there, maybe.
Yeah, I mean the original stuff, like Inside Out, was fantastic, but a lot of sequels.
Yeah,
and it was A Good Dinosaur, wasn't it, that you really didn't like? I've still not seen that.
Yeah, I mean, at least it was well made, Good Dinosaur. And again, this is the thing with all these Pixar films, they're all well made.
Yeah, we almost take it for granted now, or maybe we shouldn't, just how good they look.
And The Good Dinosaur was spectacular visuals, but it was just lacking it was just a paint by numbers kind of. Boring. That was more of a kids' film, I'd think. I think that was this generation. It was the millennial. What was that dinosaur film?
The Land Before Time.
Land Before Time. With Littlefoot. Yeah, there he is. So yeah, I mean, this was. Like I say, I think this was more aimed at the people making it. I think the people making it thought, if we're going to make the sequel, we're going to make it for us more than anyone else.
I suppose that's part of it, because it's been 14 years since the people who saw this first film. And it was
written and directed by Brad Bird as well.
Yeah,
which was amazing.
So if you're going to make a sequel for them, these people have grown up. They're 14 years older. So yeah, I suppose if you want to hit that audience again, you have to go down that route.
Indeed. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I like the switch. The thing is, I can't really talk about the original too much because I don't want to ruin that for you. In case you go back and
I will watch it at some point. I'm not too worried about spoilers and things like that.
I'll try and keep it as as vague as possible.
I mean, the impression they gave was that sort of Mr. Incredible is the main superhero.
He was in the first, yes.
Elastigirl is not sort of the sidekick.
Yeah. In the first one, it was very much that, and I liked how they flipped it. And it wasn't one of these, Me Too and glass ceiling, Hillary lost, so stick it to the man kind of thing. It was just natural. She was always the strong character in that first film as well. It was one of those that, like you say, Mr. Incredible was, as a character, he's probably, I wouldn't say the most unlikable, but he's the most generic.
Yes. They play up to that.
Strong, I'll say strong man.
Yeah.
That's it, kind of thing. Whereas, like you say, on top of her powers, she always was juggling the family and stuff like that. So it was an interesting dynamic. I mean, he juggled his boring job, but it didn't kind of land as much with me anyway. So I always liked her character over his. So I enjoyed the fact that she was put front center for this. The villain in it, we both saw coming a mile off. You said it halfway through. I kind of figured it out within 2 scenes. I think it was the second scene, or it was the first scene, but she made a passing comment over.
Yeah, they made it.
Shit! I told you I would have spoiled it. I just said the gender of the baddie.
Oh, bollocks.
Fuck! Bye, everyone. Right, spoilers. Fuck it. We both saw it coming.
Dear, you didn't defend that cross into your box, Kinnison. Didn't defend it.
Didn't get up high enough with the head.
Sorry, Kyle Walker.
So the main baddie gives the plot. Like, there was one it was something.
It was a foreshadowing line that if you've seen films before, you will get it.
Yeah,
but it wasn't so obvious that it's giving it away.
Yeah, it wasn't like a slap in the face with a giant fish.
Fine.
It was
fine.
Yeah. So, like I say, this film, the female characters are kind of front center.
Yeah.
You've got the lead protagonist, female. You've got the main villain, also female, but you don't find that out until the twist. I'm
or
doing
until you listen to this podcast and Graeme fucked it up for you.
Yeah, shit. I'm really disappointed because I really wanted to see how far I could get with spoiling it, and I got to scene 1. But like I say, there was a lot of I think it's something that we've mentioned before as well about the animation. Let's say branch out. I don't know where the fuck I'm going with this, but just how the animators can make something very funny with just one change of expression.
Yeah, that's one of our favourite films. We've talked about this a lot, haven't we? Like the Simpsons film, that brilliant moment where
face drops.
Like Homer's in the wrecking ball machine and it's swinging back towards him, or Marge's face when Spider Pig is walking on the ceiling and he's singing. Yeah, things like that.
Yeah, just simple. It's not even like an over the top kind of change or reply. It's just a very subtle, and you just fucking buy into it. Yeah. This I thought had so many of them.
Yes.
I thought the animation was well done. How they told the story visually was absolutely fantastic. I thought, beyond anything, I was so impressed with how clever they were with the powers that these and how they manipulated these powers to do different things. It's not just a generic she's stretchy, it's she turns into a parachute.
Everything has a purpose.
And it's not just a convenience kind of purpose. It's a fact of, if you think about it, yes, if they could do this, that is something that is in the realms of possibility, and as crime fighters they probably would have found this out at some point.
I mean,
previously.
I'm the first to call out this sort of stupid shit, but this didn't feel like a film that was just saying, oh, by the way, you can do this now. It all made sense to me.
And especially if you watch the first one as well, there's a few things that, again, she turns into a parachute in that one, so it's foresight. Like she flies a jet around at one point, and I thought, oh god, she's just taken over this plane, and Pete will be thinking, well, that's convenient, she can fly a plane. In the first one, she is an ex-pilot, or she's done flying lessons or something.
I tried not to question that stuff too much.
I mean, it is still an animated film kind of thing.
Exactly. It'll always get a bit more of a pass.
But this is the thing, you get that payoff still. You still get that payoff. And I just thought it was so clever, like the varying character powers as well, how they each one was just a little different. And again, as soon as you think they've done something that's their big shock thing, they'll throw another one in there that you didn't expect at some point. Like she jumps a bike at one point using her fucking forward levitate. Like, brilliant. I mean, she slingshots herself. I mean, that was a pretty obvious one, but it was nice to see it.
But what I also liked as well is that we got to see the limitations of them as well. It wasn't just, they're not flawless superheroes where everything comes off yet.
I mean, she gets captured at one point and they drop the temperature in the room. So she can't stretch. If she was to stretch, she would be brittle and break. Smart.
And
it's a smart
situations
film.
where Mr. Incredible's like fighting his way through like a corridor, and there's a guy who can crush space. And he sort of crushes the corridor around him. And he realises, I'm not strong enough to break through this, so I'm just going to have to go through the door.
One of my favourite lines from that was the, can you uncrush it? And then he's just like, why would I want to uncrush it? Do you unpunch people?
That was great.
Like you say, in the first one, Frozone has to have like water. He needs to keep himself hydrated to use his powers, stuff like that. I really liked the girl Violet, how it's not just force, bubble and invisible now. She can projectile force fields and shit now, which
they've evolved as people. They've learned to use their powers.
The one that stayed the same was the young lad. Not Jack's the baby.
Jack's the baby, who we'll come on to, because Jesus Christ.
Kid Flash, we'll call him for now, until I remember. He is the most generic of powers. He's fast. He runs fast, and you can't really do a lot with that, and he was the only one that didn't kind of get an expose of, here's what's something else different I can do. In the first one, he gets that moment, but there's nothing much you can do with running fast, apart from maybe time travel, but they didn't do that.
No.
Superman reference, by the way, when he spins the world back.
Or when he meets the Flash in the Justice League film.
See, I've even forgot that even existed until you just reminded me.
That's part of that terrible film.
Such a terrible film.
Such a terrible film.
I was overly impressed with how clever this film was. Like, they really put thought into every last detail. And every joke landed for me. I don't think there was one that I kind of even went, oh god, it's a generic kid thing. Like, I don't think even the jokes were meant for kids. Like, they're funny. Kids would find them funny because funny things are happening, but I don't think they'd really...
I think the kid humour was more visual. And the jokes were more for us. Really, 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 really enjoyed it.
highly recommend if I haven't already spoiled it for you.
Which I think you have, but I will.
Yeah, sorry. But it's really good, like you say, the bait and switch, if you haven't picked up on that line or figured it out at one point, the bait and switch with the villain.
Yeah.
Executed well.
Really well.
I loved all the heroes from around the world as well when they all... Like you had the guy with the
Grand Summit, yes.
Yeah, the Grand Summit of heroes when they were signing the Accords.
Yes.
And whatnot.
That was a little bit Avengers-y.
No, I say that was... you had the older British guy with the fuzzy Royal Grenadier hat on.
The Russian guy with his big furry hat as well.
Oh, there was... And then there's the other team of superheroes that they're kind of... a bit more predominant in the film.
Yeah, the socially awkward superheroes.
Yeah. Again, I this is the one that's just an owl, and just the twitching of his head made me fucking like smirk every time because it was just so stupid. But
and there's one whose power was like
to throw up, to vomit.
Yeah,
and the thing was, like, they didn't tell you that was going to be a thing. Like I think they call him Reflex or something.
Yeah, Reflux Man.
Yeah, which was utterly fantastic because
so you know it's coming, but it's still funny.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, you did not see, like, they didn't tell you what his powers were. It was just his logo on his shirt.
Yeah,
told you what it was going to be.
His
name was and his name was Reflux Man. And I'll be honest, I thought it was going to go the other end.
Yeah, I did wonder if it'd be.
I thought it'd be a fart. I thought it would be a cheap fart joke, and I'm glad it wasn't because
DreamWorks would have done a cheap fart joke.
Yeah, that's a Shrek kind of joke.
Shrek thing.
Whereas this one, it was just full on. He vomits lava.
He vomits lava.
He looks like a little frog as well. So when he vomits, like his chin fills like a
little
frog.
Yeah.
So no, very enjoyed it. Very enjoyed it. That's not a sentence. I enjoyed it very much.
Again, you started the sentence and fell short. It's a recurring theme.
It is a recurring theme.
When will it ever come home, Graeme? When will it ever come home?
I don't know, Pete. Not anytime soon.
Not anytime soon.
A lot of people have brought up the sexuality of this film as well in the lead up to it. I just wanted to gauge your opinion on that because that is one of the few things that I've read about, and it kind of just popped on. I was just like, I'm sorry, what are you on about now? And obviously read the article, and there's a thing going on. So did you pick up on any sexual undertones to any of this? Not
massively. I mean, it's women wearing elastic suits, if that's what you're referring to. Or in terms of like a more sexist tone, do you mean? Or
well, there was that as well, but they played that ridiculously well. They just basically smashed it over the head.
Yeah, I mean,
everyone that went, Rey's not a boy in Star Wars and girls can't be Jedis. They kind of they had that moment where it was just like cast asunder. Very well done. Put in his place, but it wasn't like Ghostbusters reboot where it was just like every single time now you bring this up and we're just gonna keep on picking away at you because you're a misogynistic, sexist fucking.
Oh, yeah, I didn't.
This was
nothing leapt out at me.
No, well, supposedly a lot of people think Elastigirl, the mum, is overly sexualized because I believe the kids called it Fic. With 2 C's. I guess that means
is that
she's
a thing?
Supposedly so. I believe from what I could make out, what it was trying to say is she has a fat ass or wide hips and is not like your generic slendery thing, and that was portrayed like supposedly there was a lot of ass shots in the film, or a lot of sexualized walking on her part and stuff like this was one of them.
Was it?
Exactly. I didn't see that personally, but then again, I'm not looking out for this kind of thing when I'm in an animated film.
Yeah.
The other one was the lesbian overtones of the villain, and also the fangirl superhero, which I got from the fangirl superhero. To a degree. I mean, I got more fangirl. I got more fangirl than.
I got more lesbian overtones from the villain.
Yeah,
there was the scene where they were drinking together.
Yeah, that's the one that I got.
They were almost sort of leering at it. Like,
and I just kind of went. There is a little.
Yeah,
I mean, Elastigirl isn't, but they kind of left it ambiguous that maybe, but then they passed it off with we could have been friends later on in the film.
Yeah, that's the one moment you could maybe accuse it of, but
I didn't see it personally. Like, again, it's a big. I think it's just people trying to get offended over. Nothing. So I just wanted to. That was my one little bit of pre-reading coming into this because I thought "You got to be fucking shitting me," and then read it. You know,
the usual storm in a teacup.
Indeed. So yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. I would even possibly... I think it was darker than the first one. It is a little darker than the first one in tone.
Okay.
I mean, there's some dark moments in the first one, but this tonally was, I think, a bit more, free will and all of that being taken from you. And
yeah, I mean,
dark.
in terms of tone, and I suppose you've got the scene where she's sort of hypnotised in a room and it all becomes quite trippy, and that might be a little scary for a kid,
That was a
maybe.
fun sequence, though.
Yeah, it was.
I say everything about this was fun. Just well done. Well done, Bard, whatever the fuck your name is, Brad.
Bravo.
Well done, Brad. You followed up I, Tonya, and I honestly like this film a lot. I would put it. I think it. I know you never want to go extremes after just one viewing and straight afterwards, but I really enjoyed that film. I would say it's probably going to make my top 5 movies of the year, unless something
I think
shocks
that's probably
me.
fair at this stage, certainly. Really, I want to think about what we've seen so far. It's up there.
And what's to come according to the previews.
Yeah, there were some terrible films previewed before this.
Why is there a fucking Hotel Transylvania fucking free? When was there ever a second? I can't even remember the first one.
I don't think I've seen any of them, no. It was all new to me.
Yeah, so there's a lot of shite coming out. No doubt we'll hit up. But no, I really, really, really enjoyed it. I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I think 8's fair.
Again, I can't really pick... I mean, yes, there is a case to be made that off the top of my head, I could give it a 10 out of 10 on the basis that I can't think of a flaw in it. I mean, for a family, yes, because obviously the talking bits, but I got what I wanted from it.
Yeah.
From a general point of view, yes, okay, you could say maybe the kids won't get the exposition on the more talky stuff, the perception of heroes and making them legal and all of that stuff.
I mean, I suppose it's being pretty harsh because it's not what it's going for as a film. I suppose what makes like a 10 out of 10 for me would be something like Inside Out, because that hits me on a number of levels. That had a strong emotional punch.
This one did not have an emotional moment.
No,
really, it was all fun action.
Yeah, and that's not the
funny.
Criticism, because it's meant as a fun film, but
there's always something that normally gut punches you at some point.
Especially in a Pixar film. You think of Toy Story, you think of Inside Out, Up.
Even the first Incredibles had a good moment.
Yeah.
This one off the top, I can't remember, because like you say, the most hardship and misfortune is the dad staying at home watching the family and trying to adapt to him not being in the limelight. And that's played for laughs. So therefore,
and they're very good laughs. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. The car.
Oh, brilliant.
The Cribbermobile or whatever.
And we barely even talked about the baby and the development of the baby with its...
Oh, yeah, that's a point. Edna came back. One of my favourite characters from the first one. A lot of people's favourite character from the first one.
She was fun.
Darling.
I liked her.
So no, for me anyway, I can't remember a fault in it. For me personally, like you say, there are things for a wider audience that you could say.
Yeah.
But for me, no.
No, it was excellent. It was really, really good.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. Lived up to it. Close to the first one in terms of enjoyment. Repeat viewing it may even...
Yeah, who knows?
Because like you say, I'm a bit older now. I watched the first one on Sky a couple of weeks ago, and I was enjoying it, and it was a popcorny thing. Whereas this one, it may be a bit more of a... Like you say, there's a bit more thinking to this one.
Yeah.
Not generic.
It deals with some deeper themes.
Yeah. So, really enjoyed it. Before we sign off, because this car is now looking like the thing that Rose and Jack fucking Titanic were steamed up that much. There it is, the hand on the window. Oh, shit. Fuck. Gonna have to explain that one to whoever.
What have you been doing,
as with all the preview, yeah, what is it? It's no, the shorts. It's an animated Pixar. Pixar always do a short. Shout out to the director, writer, whoever created this one, because they normally use this as a taster. If these do well, then they normally give them a bigger feature. That's how Pixar have worked. This one, I don't know if they're going to get a main picture, because it was fucking weird.
Yeah, we're not going to spoil it, but
no,
I
mean, yes, that had the emotional levity that the main film lacked.
Yeah.
But it was only after you climbed off a giant wall of what the fuck.
Yeah, this is some Beatles Yellow Submarine shit. Right here.
Yeah, like there was a visible like gasp in the audience at one point. Even from me and you, we just went, "What?"
I didn't know what the fuck was happening here.
Oh dear, there's two people making out just right in front of them. I'm just going to spine them all.
Oh no!
This is the fun thing about doing a podcast.
You've made an actual peephole.
I have made a peephole. No, never mind. Didn't get the show that I was.
Oh God!
So elastic. Although there was a funny moment where we feel a young lad. What was he, about 10, 11?
Well, younger than that, I'd say.
Younger than that, 9. He was around the older primary school, definitely lower secondary school age, and at the end of the film, which I found fucking hilarious, he turns around to us, sticks his thumb up, and then says, "What was it, Violet? I like Violet.
I like Violet.
I like Violet," and stuck his thumb up with a cheesy grin and then walked around, and within... Well, that boy's going to learn a lot from the internet in the coming weeks.
He's in for an awakening.
Yeah. So, congratulations to him finding his manhood, or the first steps on the way to manhood.
Kid. It's coming home.
Well, it's coming in home.
Oh.
It's probably going to be at some point. Get that lock on your bedroom door, pal. The parents don't need to see it.
Oh.
No. Was that too far?
It's not great.
It's like, well, what, like England's second half performance?
Oh!
Yes, he's redeemed it!
Boom!
Suck it, dickheads! So yeah, anything else? We're in here for 51 minutes now. It's a sauna.
I think that's it.
If we've gone full bore, it's now sauna.
I think coming up next, we're not far from Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's coming up to
end of the month.
End of the month. I mean,
So,
we're looking at going unlimited at cinema.
We
There's
are.
a possibility, yeah.
Which would be good, because like you say, even if you don't go to watch a film, I can easily collect the card from your work.
Yeah, well, I think that you have to have an ID thing on them.
Well, nobody fucking you. I've used somebody else's.
Yeah,
as long as you're the same sex, nobody cares.
Yeah, whatever.
So whoever will do unlimited, and there is a chance that. I mean, we're keeping the whole Cyinc Steinhardt cars segment.
Yeah, I think
as a
so.
kind of thing. I like it. For anything big, like say an end of the year review, we'll obviously go back to the old format.
Yeah.
May even go back to the old format for the odd film, but
depending on what it is, where we see it.
We've got to get with the write-ups on the old Facebook page.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while.
So if we start doing unlimited and go to watch films, odds and sods here and there, one of us will write them up, no doubt. So, content, people.
Yeah, we'll get back to it.
Yeah, we'll try. We'll try
and rebuild for future tournaments. I mean, podcast. Fuck.
I was about to say, is there anything else you'd like to add? Is there anything else you would like to add? Careful now. I saw you. Honestly, your face went like Jack Nicholson's joke.
So let's just leave it there.
You know those subtle changes in expression that the cartoons do so well? You went full cartoon there.
That was like Jim Carrey's Grinch.
You were like fucking, what was his name from Home Alone 2 when he realised that the Kevin McAllister.
Oh god, yeah,
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry.
When he smirks and it just goes
stolen credit card.
Just like, and it, that was what Pete just did.
Yeah.
It was creepy. I especially don't want it in a steamed up car. Especially with the peephole now looking in.
Oh dear.
It's a two-way thing, people.
It is.
So yes, hopefully be back Ant-Man and Wasp in a few weeks.
Yeah, we'll get
try
on
and get that early doors.
Until then, enjoy the World Cup final. Vive la France.
Allez la bleu.
Two guys, one sofa.